when it happens here locally, at least for me, I take it personally. Like even when a gas station gets robbed or anything like that, because that's not supposed to happen here.
If you haven't been part of a data breach, you're in the minority. Good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us tonight. According to a new study, 70% of Americans have fallen victim to a data breach in the past 16 months. Debit and credit card fraud is very common and happens when a hacker takes your card information and uses it to buy something.
But how do your bank, how do they really know about purchases that are fraudulent and which ones are legitimate? Valley News Team's Ashley Bishop investigated how much your banks know about you and how your financial information is always at risk.
We're fairly certain the card stuff was stolen here in town too. So in Fargo, you know, being here for a long time, you don't think of Fargo as a huge city. You think of it still as a little town type thing, and that type of stuff doesn't happen, but obviously it does.
Scott Severson and his wife fell victim to debit card fraud in December when $600 was taken from their bank account.
Someone actually made a physical copy of it, and then we're using it at Target here in town. So they ran it through 4 times. It went through for $153 each time. So we're thinking gift cards, I guess. And the 5th time, Visa fraud stopped it and then called us.
Scott says he was amazed how the bank knew the charges were fraudulent.
You know, what's the cutoff? How do they know, you know, on that 5th transaction that they go, okay, wait a minute, that doesn't seem right?
Almost every bank uses some type of anti-fraud software. And that software uses patterns to track fraud.
But it goes much deeper than that. It actually has artificial intelligence that learns the pattern of each individual customer that we have using their debit card. It gets stronger and stronger with each customer the longer you've been with us and the more transactions you have. It just continually learns more and more about what's normal for you and where you're going.
According to a bank industry expert, hackers are evolving and trying to target as many people as possible.
With today's technology, laser printers and plastics, it's very easy for a criminal to create a debit card or a look-alike debit card. So if they've scammed all of your data, they could literally make a debit card at home.
A lot of the fraud we're seeing right now is a situation where your card number or my card number was used at a retailer. That retailer's information was hacked.
But what is the reason for all the recent data breaches? More hackers or weaker security? According to Fisher, it has to do with the card technology we're using. Many countries have a newer, more secure type of system.
It was implemented in Europe first, and in Scandinavia, and now in Canada and Mexico. We're the only country in North America that does not have a fully deployed EMV solution. And that's one reason why you see debit card fraud increasing. We are, as the United States, are the weakest link.
The new chip cards, known as EMV, will be phased in later this year. It's been around since the late 90s. Many in the banking world say this new technology will help with fraud in the United States.
This adds another layer of protection and virtually should eliminate all of that type of fraud we've been seeing.
Fisher says that the U.S. is just starting to tackle the real issue of relaxed security within retailers.
And the criminals are very, very creative, so you have to stay a step ahead of them. You can't stand still in your security. You constantly have to up your game, and that's what retail merchants and processors need to do, is constantly up the game.
In Fargo, Ashley Bishop, Valley News Live.
Fisher says the chip card technology will help stop criminals copying cards, but not online fraud. He adds that people need to speak up when impacted by retailer data breaches. Now, to see a full list of ways to protect yourself and read the recent study on data breaches, head to valleynewslive.com.